What's up, everyone? Anthony DiGiovanni with SacredU Philosophy. I'm back with another video with Chris Missimo. We are trying to tackle what it means to have a meaningful relationship. This is the second video in that series. If you guys haven't seen the first one, you should go check it out.
Absolutely.
But today we're trying to tackle, is age just a number? Chris, is it? Is it just a number?
Depends. So there's two ways of looking at age. You have chronological age or biological maturity, and then you have season of life, or what we consider to be like more natural maturity level. Okay. So the answer is yes and no based on which one of those you're looking at. If I'm looking at chronological age, obviously you have to be aware of the whole under 18 thing, because that's illegal. Okay, so obviously like don't be doing that.
That's good advice.
But then, but after 18, really, I think you need to transition the way that you look at it, because I don't think chronological age is the right way to approach. Is age just a number? I think season of life and maturity is the better way of looking at it. So there's four main stages of life in terms of season of life. You have adolescence, which is like 13 to 18 or so, which I consider to be like the identification of self and placement age, where you're figuring out, where do I fit? Am I good at English? Am I good at math? Am I an athlete? Am I a nerd? Do I like video games? Who am I? Where do I fit? What's my clique? And based on that season, obviously, I don't think you want to get married. Okay, have relationships. That's important because you have to figure out your needs and what works and what doesn't, and you have to get some experience under your belt. But you shouldn't be getting married before 18. Okay, that's a bad idea. Even looking at it from a chronological age, because your brain development at 18 is actually only 50% done.
Yeah.
So even though 18 isn't 50% of 25, which is when your brain on average is 100% complete biologically, at 18 you're only 50% done. And I don't think anybody should be entering marriage at 50% brain capacity, in my opinion. Then you have the second stage, okay? And this is going to be 18 to about 25. So that's young adulthood. This is the stage of more self-placement. So you have adolescence, which is like social placement, then you have self-placement. So now you're going to college, right? Maybe you're going to college, maybe not. If not, you're going to trade school. You're figuring out what am I good at? What are my next steps? Now this stage, you can't have relationships in. You don't want to be mixing stages though. The third stage is 25 to about 60, which is adulthood. You don't really want to be mixing those two stages if at all possible. Now, if you're 24 and you have a 26-year-old, and that's different. You're on the back end of one and on the front end of the other, and that's okay. But if you have two people within that stage, marriage is maybe. So 13 to 18, no, I would say. And then 18 to 25, I'd honestly say maybe. I think it depends. Some people are just more mature at 23 than other people. So I'm not saying before 25 you can't have a healthy relationship or marriage. It's fewer and far between for the most part, I would say. Then you have the third season of life. You have adulthood, just traditional adulthood, which is 25 to 18. So this is growth and reciprocation of growth. So this is where you should be growing yourself and ideally your partner, whoever you're with, and then giving that growth back to typically children is how that works, right?
25 to what?
25 to 60. So we're going to lump that into adulthood, okay? We're just going to put that all together. Even though, again, I don't want to get into it today, but there are a lot of subcategories. We're just going to break down to 4. And pretty much anywhere in this category, honestly, you can probably get married. Even if it's 27 and 37, there are still some changes there, but significantly less than 17 to 27, right? That season of life, 25 to 60, for the most part, you're going to be in about the same season. Now, there's different things regarding children and career, but for the most part, the answer for marriage there is yes, if you're in that stage. And again, you want to try to avoid dipping into 2 different seasons of life for the most part, unless you're on the back end of one and the front end of the other. Okay. Right. Then you have the 4th season of life, which is you can categorize into different things. You can call it retirement. I like to call it retirement and Hawaii time stage. So this is really where you should be reaping the benefits of all of the work and the growth and the reciprocation of that growth that you've gone through. And here you can get married too, actually. There are a lot of older couples that get married, and it's their second marriage, a third marriage, and you actually see pretty good results with that because you know who you are at 60.
Yeah.
You know what you bring, you know what you don't bring. And really what you're looking for at that stage of life in terms of the love triangle, which we'll talk about another time, is just intimacy. You're less concerned about passion. Intimacy and commitment's what you care about most. And when you care about those two things of the triangle, you tend to have more success. So that's why older couples tend to have more success. So is age just a number? It depends. I'd avoid crossing into different seasons of life.
Yeah.
And I would try to shoot for 25 or later. If you're really considering marriage, that doesn't mean marriages before 25 can't work, but I would highly recommend waiting. Even if you got together when you were 22, be together for 4 years, 5 years, because you're still growing. You're still figuring out your self-identification.
Yeah.
And if you're not right, and if you're not in a good place career-wise and personality-wise and values-wise, when you become an official we in terms of marriage, you're setting yourself up for failure. You want to do the individual growth first, and then enter a mutual growth, a we growth after.
I tell the kids I teach and coach, my sisters this too, man. I know you probably went through this. Like, I changed so much from 18 to 21, and then even 21 to 25. Like,
undergrad me and grad school me were two different people.
Yeah.
Since 18, I'm 26 now. It's like three different human beings.
Yeah.
You have undergrad Chris, you have grad school Chris, and you have professional Chris, and they're three different people within 8 years there.
Yep.
It really is. There really is a lot of changing. So when you're changing so much, if you have to manage somebody else's change simultaneously, that's a lot to ask of you. It means you're taking away time from you.
Yep.
And like we say all the time, and we're going to talk a lot about this during the series here, you have to be right first.
Yeah.
You must be right first before you become a we.
It's good stuff. It's good advice.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, thank you.
Yeah, no
If
problem.
you guys like that video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up below. Comment as well if you guys have further questions for Chris.
Feel free to ask.
If that helped you, let us know. And then, as always, share this with somebody that might need to hear it. And keep coming back. Hit the subscribe and the notifications bell. And subscribe to my page. And you can also hop on over to Chris's as well.
Links below.
Yeah. And get more great information from the two of us. I appreciate you guys stopping by.